you know what I mean?
I feel like it's so weird for me because I feel like I've always actually done better when I've had less income, only because of the fact that like I was capable of being more disciplined when I was poor, more like, you know, and not
it forces you.
Yeah, because like as soon as I started to get money, I all of a sudden was like, oh, okay, well I can treat myself. And that's where I became like bad at being disciplined. Once I had money, being able to keep the money or think of like, oh, okay, well right now you have this much in your account and you can like have some like, you know, immediate, you know, enjoyment with like going and buying new clothes or something, or you can save that and like build it to get like these bigger things that you want. That was much harder on me. When I had no money, I knew I had no money. So I knew, even food wise, I was like, yo, I'm getting chicken and rice because that is all I can afford. And I know I need nutrition. If I don't get this chicken, like, and I just spend it on some like junk food, I'm not going to have any energy, you know? So like I wouldn't eat crap at the time because I was like, I can't afford ice cream.
You know, there's some, if you follow, I don't follow these people specifically, but I've seen clips online that like they'll sponsor or whatever. They'll like put money into marketing. These like .com and self-made like millionaires and like real estate moguls and stuff like that. One of the advices that they give people that are trying to get to being a multi-millionaire, not just a millionaire, like tens of hundreds of millions of dollars. They say, force yourself to get your bank account to zero. Like move money other places and like make it to where like you can't access that money, and then force your bank account to be like force the thing where you can actually spend, force that to be as low as possible, because it'll force you to get into like a survival mentality. And you
know what? That's really true. Because
I don't operate that way. I can't do that.
I have to do it that way. Because this is the thing. I think, again, it goes back to discipline. I am not disciplined enough to do that kind of stuff.
And maybe that's good advice if you're not disciplined.
If there is money in my account, I'm going to spend it.
See, and
I will. In fact, I did a purchase today that I was really not supposed to do. For no fucking reason.
No reason.
Well, I will
get your shit together.
I will also add, I am slightly unhinged and am like going through shit mentally, and that like boost of serotonin when I buy something truly is not good in the long run.
Ooh, that's
but
a good
momentarily, it feels so good because it feels like I just chose to do something when I can't control anything else.
And I understand that 100%. I don't think it's an excuse, but I understand it 100%. Yeah. And here is where I get lucky, because that's true. In moments of like down, let's say like I'm gonna keep going back to the dating thing, because that's a very powerful thing, right? Whenever you're trying to, as a man especially, whenever you're trying to show your worth to somebody and they judge you based on everything except what you're saying, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And that can be like a really, like you can get home at the end of the night and be like, fuck, man, like am I really that bad? Am I really like a piece of shit? Am I really, you know what I mean? So then where that serotonin will come in, that impulse buy or whatever, that might turn into like, you know what, I need that BMW.
Yeah.
I need to get that I need to get the, you know what I mean? Even if I still lived at the duplex, I might have shown up in the BMW and like I would have been more received better on whatever date, on whatever, you know, this and that, if I picked you up in like a, you know, whatever nice car, right? And people might be like, oh, you know what I mean? But the only reason I didn't buy into that is because I get my serotonin in other places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The artist in me, I get my highs on everything except vices.
God bless you.
You know what I mean? I've been like really lucky in the sense that like alcohol doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Drugs don't do it for me.
Yeah.
As fun as they can be, they don't do it for me. Women don't do it for me, right? Like pussy, like how people talk about like just sex or whatever, like that doesn't do it for me. Gambling doesn't do it for me. As much as I've paid for school, like I paid for college gambling, like doesn't do it for me. In terms of like feeling alive, never done it for me. The things that make me feel the best has always been my artistic endeavors. So I will go to great lengths. Like in the same way that you might be like, this is highly irresponsible of me, I may be like, this is highly crazy of me, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
Right. My senior thesis in college, I transformed my entire living room
Oh yes, I remember that.
into like a fucking spider web.
Yeah.
And like I couldn't bring anybody over for like 9 months to my place because I fucked that place up for an artistic purpose, right? And every night I was taking photographs. Every night I was adding more things to it. It was like a 9-month performance piece.
Yeah.
Performance art piece for the most part. And when I was done with it and I edited it and I see them, my portfolio's online. People can go see it. But like,
Yeah.
when you see, whenever I like saw it and like described it and like all of the serotonin,
Yeah.
like I felt all
And
of the pleasure, felt
I
all
think,
of the thing. I'm like, man, I feel like fucking phenomenal.
For somebody like you who is a creative, I for one wouldn't consider myself a creative because I don't think I have a lot of creative endeavors that I feel like could be valuable in creative spaces, and I have a lot of creative knowledge and maybe ability to be, you know, I'm good at drawing, I'm good at painting, I'm good at doing all those things and whatever, or expression through makeup or SFX or whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of things that I could do that with, but I don't have anything in particular that calls my name out to that extent.
And that's not necessarily bad.
Yeah, no, so like to me, I'm just kind of going with whatever I feel is good, and I dabble in too many things to be able to feel like there's one particular thing that I'm interested in. But I will say, going back onto the whole dating thing that you were talking about, the reason why today's purchase was made, because this purchase was actually in my basket all week long. There was stuff that I was like, oh, I kind of want to do this, I kind of whatever. And I was texting my friend and I was like, I need you to convince me not to buy this shit. And she would just text and be like, you don't need it. Like, why are you doing that? We're going to go on a trip soon. Like, you don't need to be buying all this extra shit. I was like, you're right. I'm about to go spend some money on this. I just bought 2 tickets to go see 2 different artists. I'm very excited. That's all I need to spend money on this week, right? Not a big deal. And yesterday I had like a momentary like bajón. Like, I don't know how to say that in English, but it was just like
just a little low moment.
A little low moment from a date that I went on. And I was just like, whoa, like, and it like was processing all night to me, and then it was processing today in the morning, and I was like, man, I really want something, and I was like, fuck it, and I just like bought.
It's real,
and I got it.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off. I didn't hear. Okay. So I've also felt like, I feel like anytime, going back to the idea of like, I've done really well when I've been poor and broke. Not only just like poor and broke, but also thinking about it like in bad mental states. All of a sudden, that's when like I make these big decisions or something, and oftentimes I'll like end up doing really well from that. Yeah. But talking with my therapist, some therapy talk here, she very specifically was like, yo, you have to learn to be able to do all of these good things
without having
in
to
your
be in
good
a low
mentality as well. Otherwise, you're going to start relating all of the good things that happen to you to you being in a bad space.
Agree.
Yeah.
And like, and then you're just going to purposely put yourself in these bad situations and in this bad space just so you can feel like you're productive again.
Absolutely.
Like you're you know, pushing yourself and doing like
at least subconsciously.
At
least subconsciously you might
you know what? That's actually so true. That's 100% true, because this happens to me. This actually was happening to me throughout these last 2-ish or like 1 year and a half that I've been single, and I've been separated from my ex, so from a tricky situation there. And it's funny because you would think that at no point in time do you want to ever feel the dreading, hurtful feelings that you feel when you're breaking up with somebody and when you're going through the separation and all this stuff. But as being in a better space now, you would be like, Marce, like, you're doing great. Like,
feels liberating.
I'm doing great right now. I'm financially there. My kid's doing fine. I'm doing fine. There's little things here and there that might be bringing me down sometimes, but at the end of the day, my mentality has changed to the point where I can tell myself, it's like, you're fine, move on. We got to keep it going. You know what I mean? Which I used to never be able to do. But there are times where I will think to myself and I'll be like, man, I want to feel that pain again. Like I want to cry like I cried when I was going through the heartbreak. Why? Because after that heartbreak is when I got my mentality to change more. And so going back,
you're searching for that liberation feeling.
So like you said, like I am associating this pinnacle and like revolutionary moment in my life to where I got better to me feeling really, really, really sad and like down.
To say your point a little bit more, less self-deprecating. It's hard to get better from better.
Yeah.
It's easy to get better from nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
And that's probably more of what you're talking about. Like if you're doing well, it's hard to do better than well because you have to envision what well is first.
Yeah, of course.
Right? It's easy to get better from nothing because when you have nothing, anything is better than nothing.
Anything is better than nothing, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're at like the worst, anything is better than the worst.
And I do feel like
you know?